I've been thinking about the Chinese decoupling from Australia, and not to. I certainly don't want to say that China hasn't been infiltrating our government, our business. It has, and the recent disclosure of Shanghai-based Communist Party operatives in foreign companies is certainly evidence of that. And I'm certainly not going to say that the essentially unjustified imposition of tariff barriers on Australian exports is something unexpected. It's certainly, China behaves randomly. It randomly arrests people. It randomly does these things. You know, the old kill the chicken to scare the monkey thing. But one thing that perhaps we haven't thought about in recent discussion, or particularly I haven't seen it in the press, is probably the following. I mean, recall that China is quite dependent on Australian iron ore. Exports from Brazil have issues. Guinea is problematic. Australia supplies a large proportion of Chinese iron ore. What if, and this is not to say there aren't multiple reasons, what if the reason China is putting tariff barriers on barley, on wine, on our other exports is in order to get our currency down? Because if you get our currency down, iron ore is priced in US dollars. So that whole idea but it doesn't matter. Our companies would still be willing to tolerate a lower price because they'd still be getting the same amount of Australian dollars. So perhaps what China is trying to do by putting tariffs on all our other exports is to get our dollar down, and hence the international price of our iron ore exports down. One thing that I read in an article on the ABC website today that intrigues me is they make the assertion that China as an economy is going to grow over the next few decades and probably become the dominant economy. And I really hate it when people say that, because they neglect one very important point, and that is the fact that China has shot itself in the foot with the one-child policy. China sees demographic stagnation in its near future, perhaps not to the extent that Japan did, but nonetheless, the dependency ratio is now moving in an unfavourable direction. And the idea that China is going to be the dominant economy in the world over the next few decades, possibly over the next decade, but I don't see that change manifesting and remaining. Thoughts?